It does not feel like anything, which is the point, which is the problem, which is the thing nobody thought to worry about until the morning it stopped. Pain leaving the human body sometime in the night, the way a sound leaves a room. Not dramatically, not all at once, just gradually absent, until the absence is the only thing left. He notices it first when he burns his hand on the kettle and looks down expecting something that does not arrive, the skin red and certain, the sensation simply not there. And he stands in the kitchen for a long time, looking at his hand the way you look at a clock that has stopped. Not alarmed yet, just trying to understand what time it is now. By the time he reaches the street, it is already everywhere. Not the burning, but the not burning. A stickman boy running at full speed into a lamppost and getting up immediately without tears, which should be a relief and is somehow worse. A stickman woman who has twisted her ankle badly walking on it anyway because her body has lost the only signal it had for stop. The emergency rooms fill before noon, not with people in crisis, but with people who are uncertain, people who have been hurting themselves all morning without knowing it. A stickman man who burned both palms on a stove and didn't notice until he smelled something. A stickman child with a broken wrist, still trying to draw, because drawing did not hurt anymore. A stickman elderly woman who walked a mile on a leg that had fractured somewhere in the first hour and arrived at the clinic smiling because the walk had been so pleasant. The doctors are the most frightened. Pain is not a flaw in the body's design, it is the design. The warning system that tells you a bone is breaking before it breaks completely, that tells you your appendix is about to rupture, that tells you to take your hand off the stove, and without it, the body keeps going into damage it cannot report, keeps walking on things that should not be walked on, keeps ignoring the signals it no longer receives. He watches a stickman construction worker pick up a hot metal beam with bare hands and carry it the full length of the site before setting it down and looking at the damage with an expression of genuine surprise, not pain, just information arriving late. By afternoon, the schools send children home because playground injuries have tripled and nobody is crying, because crying was how teachers knew something was wrong, and now the children keep playing through things that should have stopped them. He passes a dentist's office with its chairs full and its waiting room overflowing, people coming in for procedures they had been avoiding for years. A stickman woman who needed a root canal settling into the chair with the specific calm of someone who has just been told the thing they feared most is no longer possible. The dentist working efficiently, no pauses for the patient to breathe through something. Everything faster and quieter and somehow lonelier for it. By evening, the question has changed from how do we treat people without pain to what does the body do when it can no longer report damage? And the answer is that it continues. It keeps functioning. It keeps sending signals that nobody receives, keeps issuing warnings in a language that has gone silent, and the damage accumulates quietly, politely, without complaint. The way a building accumulates water damage in the walls for years before anything visible happens. He goes home and sits at his kitchen table and looks at the burn on his hand that has blistered now without him noticing, the body doing exactly what it was designed to do, repairing a damage it could no longer tell him about. And somewhere in the city, a stickman athlete is running a personal best on a stress fracture that will not announce itself until tomorrow. And a stickman chef is cooking with cuts on both hands that are healing invisibly. And a stickman child has fallen asleep with a bruise on her knee that nobody knew to check because she never said anything hurt. The hospitals are not overwhelmed with screaming, which is what everyone imagined emergency rooms without pain would sound like. They are overwhelmed with silence, with people walking in calmly describing symptoms they noticed by accident, by smell, or by sight, the pain having been the only early warning system, and now that system is simply off. He looks at the burn on his hand and feels nothing, and the nothing is the whole story. Not comfort, not ease, but the specific and necessary conversation between the body and the mind that says something is wrong here, pay attention, stop, and that conversation is over now, and the body keeps moving forward into damage it can no longer name, and he understands that fine is no longer a feeling he can trust, that the absence of pain is not the same as the absence of injury, hidden tomorrow.